When was the last time you were truly alone? And I mean, no phones, no music, no TV, no computer, just no outside information. You and your own thoughts. And it's probably been a long time, right? Maybe not for everybody, but for a lot of people because we got this nowadays, we got TVs, we got computers, we got so many things distracting us, and it's just very hard to get away from them, you know? And that is exactly what I want to talk about in this video. The importance of being alone just by myself, you know? And I'm going to tell you one thing. Being on this thing is not being alone. We are still distracting our minds with something. You know, we're still giving our brains some information. Now, for the people who've been watching my videos, you probably know my story. And for the people who doesn't watch my videos, if this is your first video, I will give you like a little quick backstory. I don't want to drag it. The last year, it was a very challenging year for me. I basically had no inner compass. I had no integrity. I was just trying to chase people's approval. I was performing for people. I had lost myself. I just didn't know where I was going. You know, every choice and every opinion I had, it was like borrowed from somebody else. And it wasn't from me. It didn't feel like me. It didn't align with who I was, but I wanted people's approval, so I did it, you know. But then 2 months ago, the school was about to finish, you know, summer's coming up. I was thinking, what am I gonna do over the summer? And I was thinking, yeah, just a regular summer, you know, go out, have fun, go to parties. I didn't want to do that, but it was like, yeah, that's what everybody does. And then I was sitting at my family's gathering, you know, just chilling in a corner. And I kind of had to start. If nothing changes, nothing changes. It's like if I will keep on repeating the same actions, going out with the same people, doing the same things, nothing will change. I will still feel the same way as I'm feeling right now. And I was like, I need to change something. You know, doesn't matter what, like, I have to try something else. And at that moment, I decided that I need to do a solitude season. So I cut myself away from the people that I used to hang around with. And I'm not saying that they're bad people. They just have different values and different things that they want in life, and that is cool. Everybody has their own path in life. Whatever. They can do whatever they want, you know? But I'd say the group that I was hanging out with, they really like to party. I'm not saying all they did was party because they have good things too, but you know, they were just not my people. I didn't feel like myself around them. Even when there was 10, 15 people around me, I still felt alone. I don't know if you know this feeling, but it's a weird feeling. That's when you know the group is just not for you. But yeah, I decided to cut myself away from them and do a solitude season. Now, I want to say, don't mistake solitude season with isolation season. Now, the way that I understand isolation season is, yeah, I just don't want to be around people. I'm gonna rot in my bed. It's not intentional. You just want to escape from life. That is how I understand isolation. What I've been doing is solitude. Intentional season where you just kind of cut away from the distractions to kind of give yourself some time. You know, so I really made myself a routine to work towards my goals, to give myself more time alone by journaling, by just sitting with my thoughts. I remember the first week of solitude was very, very difficult. You know, it's like all these bottled up emotions and thoughts and insecurities, they were just like coming to surface, and it was so uncomfortable. And at the start, I still wanted to escape. It was so uncomfortable that I want to go back to the way that I was before. You know, maybe I should go out. It's like so uncomfortable. It's like I feel alone. I feel lonely. There's so many thoughts in my head. I don't know what to do. But then I realized maybe that is a sign that is exactly what I need. All this time I've been trying to escape uncomfortable feeling. But it's like if I am sitting alone by myself and I cannot withstand it, that means that something has to change. You know, it kind of woke me up. I realized that in order to improve in life and in order to grow in life, I have to feel uncomfortable. That is the only way to grow. I reflected, and when I used to do the things that made me feel comfortable in a way, long term they really backfired. So I'm not even lying. The first week of Solitude, I was journaling for like 2 hours per day. I used to go outside and just sit. Just sit. The first 15, 20 minutes for me were really distracting, no really deep thoughts. But after that 20 minute mark, the real version started coming out of me. And I realized, damn, I mean, all these things that I've been telling myself with affirmations and visualizations, I wasn't actually that. I mean, this whole persona and performance that I created, it wasn't me at all. The values that I had, the things that I wanted, the people that I wanted to be around, being alone really exposed who I was truly. It made me drop the performance because when I was sitting by myself for days, I just realized there's no one to perform for. The mask slowly started to drop and the real me started to come out. And don't get me wrong, it was still uncomfortable. Every single day there's something new that came out of me. And that something new made me feel so uncomfortable, so insecure. It was shattering my ego. And I think the whole point of solitude for me was to shatter my ego. And another thing that solitude really made me realize is that I don't need to run away from my uncomfortable feelings because they're there for a reason. Sure, I feel uncomfortable. I can go grab a snack, go listen to some music, go do whatever, go smoke a cigarette, just something to get my mind away from it. But then I sat down with it. It's like I did all of these things, but did they help me? They didn't. They give you a very quick escape, but they don't fix the actual problem. I realized if I am feeling like this, there has to be a reason for that. And at that point, I stopped running away from uncomfortable feelings and I started leaning into them and trying to examine where do they come from. And I truly had a lot of lessons through the solitude. It's like all of the answers that I've been searching for, I had them. I really had the answers. I didn't need those answers. All I needed was to hear my own voice. And when I sat in solitude and started hearing my own voice, I started to realize I really had the answers that I needed. My voice was just overcrowded with constant distractions, with borrowed opinions, with all this approval chasing. All these distractions made me quiet my own voice. And that is what I truly needed. I needed to hear my own voice. And this was really a breakthrough moment because I realized that this whole year I was not living my life. I was reacting to it. Whatever was given to me, whatever seemed cool, whatever got approval is what I used to lean towards. And that is just basically living your life on autopilot. I realized all these affirmations and visualizations of me being the perfect self were just fake. They didn't help me at all. They just created a distance between who I was and what I was telling myself, which made everything even worse. It stopped my progress. Yeah, there's truly been so many lessons by being in solitude that I cannot even put all them in one video. It's a very hard but rewarding thing. And I read it in a book by John Bly or whatever his name is, Robert Bly. I don't know, Robert Gly. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. But the book is called Arwen John. And it mentioned in a book that for a boy to transition into man, he needs to experience that solitude season when he realizes that all this time he was reacting to life. And the solitude season really gives him this ground, this base to really start building his life in a way that he wants to build it and not in a way that everybody has put upon him, if that makes sense. I don't know if you believe in God, but I do try to read my Bible daily, every single morning. And Jesus himself, he always spent time in solitude to pray. At least there was in Mark 5 or Mark 6. Maybe, I don't remember, but in Mark, there was a line where it said that Jesus woke up in the morning and he went to a solitude place where there was nobody, just to pray. And then he went straight to action. And there was also a line in Mark where he told his disciples to go and get some rest in solitude. And I have this Bible, Every Man's Bible, so it also has notes. And it said that solitude really offers a good time to reflect, to align your actions with who you really want to be. And I realized, damn, solitude has to really become part of my routine because truly, if I want to stop reacting to life and I want to start controlling my life, I have to give myself time to really reflect and see if what I'm doing is aligning with who I want to be. And I always make sure to make solitude intentional. I don't say, oh yeah, I will spend some time in solitude when I just have some free time. No, because then I would just get on my phone. So every single night I sit down and I plan my whole next day. And I make sure to write down solitude. That is maybe 1 hour, 2 hours per day, but always spend some time in solitude because it just helps me to ground myself and really think about if I'm living my life intentionally. But yeah, that is it for the video. I hope it resonated with you. If you got any questions, ask me down below. And actually, I created a Discord community because I feel like my channel is growing. It's growing very slowly, but I just want to open up a community where you could get closer to me. We could share our lessons. We could have normal conversations because at the end of the day, I'm just a normal guy. You feel me? I'm just a guy like you. So join my Discord. The first 15 people will get a special role called Day Ones. So imagine if my channel goes big, 15 people will have this role Day Ones. Damn. So hey, take your chance. Get in there. At the start it's gonna be slow because there's not gonna be a lot of people, but I will try my best to be active on there daily, at least something, so I could kind of give that community some substance. So join the community. Let's share our progress, our lessons, and yeah, I see you in my Discord community, my brother.